Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily NVIDIA report for Friday, January 3rd, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. I'm going to jump to the one that I like to start with. This is the 2 to 3 week outlook here. This is a daily chart. We did test on the weekly chart the same inside channel that is today's at 128.96, and that happened a couple of weeks ago. And since that happened, I mentioned how the low 140 should be considered kind of a 1 to 2 week target. And that's where we're at. We've actually tested and topped out at this inside channel structure that today is at 139.32. It can contain intraday highs, and below which we can fall back once again to the 134.38, 50% downside retracement. That is a 50% downside of the last couple of weeks from that December low against that more recent high from about a week ago. It can still contain session weakness, but know that holding below the 142.25 structure in particular does allow this market to fall back into the mid to upper 120s. The way I see this market over the next couple of weeks is a two-sided framework where you could sell 142.25 and buy 126.56, regardless of whether you're already long or already short. If you're already long, you can reverse and go short at 142.25. If you're already short, you can reverse and go long at 126.56. 126.56 is by far the more significant. It goes back to the August low. It is a 5-6 month channel bottom that can absorb selling not only on a weekly basis, but through the first quarter perhaps. And in fact, I've been mentioning how over the coming next 2 to 3 months, holding above this upper 120s will keep the mid 160s and climbing as a 2 to 3 month target. And if by chance today we close above 142.25, I see no good reason to stay short NVIDIA. I'm talking to 3 to 5 day, 1 to 2 week swing traders who may have been anticipating, the mid to upper 120s again as an objective back into the 126.56 area. So pushing through 139.32 today does signal 142.25, where we can tap out through next week. From there, fall back to the 126.56 to 128.96 region within a couple of weeks of doing so, as I outlined earlier. But once again, closing above 142.25 does sustain bullish momentum, should set off follow-through buying that I would expect to yield that 166.55 rising channel top over the next. This could be a 3 to 5 week move. It could take all the way to the end of February to play out. I'd mentioned how on the weekly chart, we actually tested channel support a few weeks ago that is now higher numbers than what I showed on the daily chart that will keep in reach potentially the upper 170s as we move, through time. And I don't want to get too carried away with these upper price points. They're irrelevant right now. Just know that if we close today above 142.25, 147.93 is likely within 1 to 3 days. 152.89, the November high, which is an all-time high, within 1 to 2 weeks. Yes, we could double top here for a day, maybe a week. But if we do close above 142.25 today, and, I don't know what the likelihood is of that, but if so, I would expect meaningful gains as we move into February into the mid 160s and climbing. So no good reason to be short NVIDIA as we move through the rest of January and into February, unless if we happen to actually close above 142.25. Until then, that is an area you can short sell in anticipation of bearish rotation within a week or two back to 126.56 to 128.96. On the way down, if we close today below 134.38, a level that can contain today's lows, but how many times will that 50% actually contain daily lows? At some point, it may give way. And if we close below 134.38 today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we should continue south into this 126.56 to 128.96 region, where shorts can be covered under most time frames, because this is an area that may well contain selling through the first quarter, perhaps. Now, if we do, and it won't happen today, but if over the next week or two we settle below 126.56, then you can aggressively play the short side, expecting 114.45 within 1 to 2 weeks, and ultimately 102.48 within 1 to 2 months of closing below 126.56. Until then, we are expecting continued gains. Holding above the mid to upper 120s maintains a bullish posture as we move through the first quarter. And the next indication of meaningful gains would be a settlement above 142.25. If that were to happen today, 152.89, a 1 to 2 week target, talking to 1 to 2 week swing traders. And for those of you who just like to buy and hold over the course of a month or two, a settlement today above 142.25 does signal 166.55 and climbing into the mid 170s by early February as a 1 to 2 month, possibly 3 to 5 week objective. I think I have said it all. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll leave you with this image for the day, the most appropriate for the day itself. Please click like, share, subscribe. Check out wickedstocks.com. Take advantage of our 5-day free trial. I will be back Sunday afternoon with Monday's NVIDIA report. You have a great weekend.